pitch on the way. Clark hits it deep to right. Goodbye. See you later. Stop the shuffle, and Clark taking the runner out. High drive into deep right field. It is a grand slam home run. Has a double and 2 home runs. It makes it a 3-2.
Guys, welcome to Uncaged, the John Rocker podcast. I want to welcome Will Clark here today. And we got John here.
And on the John Rocker podcast, what do you know? It's fucking John Rocker.
Yes.
Guest today. We've been sitting here talking a little bit before the show, little pre-show stuff. I'm going to have to fucking fanboy, Will. I'm going to have to fanboy. Will Clark's my first guest on the show today. Best of my knowledge, Will, would I face you one time, I think? Was that all we saw each other?
It was one time only, John. That was one of them things. You came in kind of at the end of my career, so we didn't have a chance to face each other a lot.
I saw you in St. Louis, that Rick Ankiel meltdown game, where you guys spotted Maddux. You spotted Doggy 9 fucking runs and came back and beat him. I think you guys won like 11-10 or 12-11 or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm pretty sure I faced you.
It was one of those things where, we dropped the 6 spot on Maddux in the first. Y'all made an error or two here and there, kind of opened the floodgates. And then all of a sudden, we come out for the top of the second, and Ankiel starts airmailing a few balls up on that screen behind home plate. I'm like, oh, geez. And I look at LaRussa. LaRussa's in the dugout. He's like, go talk to him. Like, what do you want me to tell him? Don't throw it up there?
Throw it inside the turret.
So I get out to the mound, and he's just all locked up. He can't breathe. And I'm like, all right, Rick. I said, evidently we're having a release point issue. I said, so instead of throwing the ball up here, I said, let's throw a breaking ball and get the ball down. I said, let's get it down. I said, we'll get our fastball back down there. He goes, oh, okay. And I get back to first base, and LaRussa looks at me. I go, I don't know. And the next pitch, instead of throwing a break ball, he throws the fastball up on the screen again. I go, oh my God. And needless to say, it kind of melted down from there. And to Rick's credit, I gotta pat him on the back. He came back and became a position player, and then stayed in the organization for a while and became an announcer and all that. So he's done some real good things with his life after his meltdown.
Well, do you think that was a playoff thing? I mean, he won Rookie of the Year, the year before? It was in his second year. He's pitched, 60 fucking games in the big leagues.
I mean,
you've
probably seen this in your
series game. Was a fucking opening game one.
CX is one. Chuck Knobloch was another, and Rick Ankiel. It's called getting the yips just out of the clear blue, like you can't find it. I don't know where it's going, kind of thing. And that's what happened to Rick. And
I watched Wohlers do that, and that was the damage I'd ever seen. Yep. Because Woe would play catch with the outfielders before he would go in. And before he would play catch, he would sit there, the 385 side. He would stick every ball as he's waiting on Brian Jordan to come to right field. Every ball right in the 8, right in the 8, right in the 8. Go out, fucking 4th row, first fastball, like a 99, 4th row. Split, dirty on the black. Breaking ball, bucket your knees on the black. Fastball, there it goes. And like, what the hell, dude? But
hey, like I said, you've seen it, I've seen it. I feel bad for the people that get the yips because, man, it's hard to come out of.
But what the hell?
Rick couldn't come out of it. So
from being I've always had a lot of respect for that guy because I was sitting there, watching it, feeling like I'm sitting there watching a puppy get beat to death. Even though other team like, good, we're gonna win this fucking game, and of course it didn't work out like that. But so much respect for that guy. 2 years in the big leagues. Roy goes all the way back to A-ball, the fucking buses, Waffle House at fucking 2 a.m. and gets back playing another position and had a 10-year carear as a damn center fielder. That is
unbelievable how he did it. And,
no shit.
Even that year right there, the reason that LaRussa gave him the nod in game 1 against Maddux, I think he was 11-2.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just dealing towards the end of the season. So LaRussa gave him the nod against Maddux in game 1, and then, I hate to see it, but like you said, he went back, he reinvented himself.
Oh, I know.
And then
But just
became
not
a quality major
white
leaguer, and
grass.
then has moved on with his life. So, congratulations to you, Rick, for, the perseverance that you had.
But just to be up there making money, flying private, the whole 9 yards, the big league life, and to go be, how shitty. Well, you didn't. Did you ever play an A-ball?
I did. That's where I got drafted. I went to A-ball, and then
the stud you were coming out. I put you right in the big leagues. Just to keep your head from getting lodged up your ass, from going 2 years to the big leagues, right back to where would A-ball and St. Louis have been back then? But wherever it was fucking shitty, I guarantee you. But yeah, just to keep a positive mental outlook, and I'm getting ready to change positions, have to learn how to hit. Okay, I'm up for that. Not fuck this. I'm going home. I've already made a little bit of money.
And just to have that modesty about, hey, I was, like you said, rookie of the year. I was in the big leagues. I was in the playoffs facing Greg Maddux, and now I have to reinvent myself.
I know.
Just the humbling humility, and to put your head down, persevere, and get back to the major leagues was unbelievable.
That was the whole talk over the off season. Is Ankiel what's he gonna do? Spring training. So I mean, it was so embedded in his being. By the time he gets to spring training, I think he had 2 or 3 outings. They're like, yeah, this is a lost ship here. Can you imagine the shit he must have heard in A-ball ballparks as he's up there trying to hit? I mean, they're in his dish from the second row, fucking yapping his ass with 15 beers lined up, drunk as shit, just talking shit to him. Fuck it. Bowed that neck and got back to them big leagues again. Had like a 10-year career.
There you go.
So fucking awesome.
Love it.
I didn't think we were going to talk about this, but yeah. So you're working with San Fran now, right?
Yeah, I've been working with them since 08. I'm one of their special hitting instructors, and so I see the major league team at least once a month, and then I'll see all of our minor league affiliates as well. When I go to San Francisco, I'm on the field with the team during the day, and then because they only allow a certain amount of coaches in the dugout and stuff like that, when the game starts, I go up on the suite level and schmooze customers and stuff like that.
You're taking some very well qualified woman's job. You realize that, right? Out in San Fran. You are.
Well, put it this way,
I lady over there.
I got that personality where I really like to meet everybody, like to meet the fans, and all the people now that are our season ticket holders and stuff like that. They were the fans at Candlestick back in the day. So I really enjoy visiting with them.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So I go every year down to the Braves spring training complex. We were talking this before the show, and manage a team in a little college wood bat league. So I see a lot of the guys. I see most notably Terry Pendleton, who's doing pretty much the same thing you're doing. What's it like working front office with all these analytical fucking dickheads? I mean, do you have the ability to still work with the guys? TP tells me if he sees a guy with a jacked up swing or some issue with his swing, he has to get permission to put hands on him. Is that same way in San Fran?
Well, I mean, it used to be that way around San Francisco, but they got a little regime change. Buster Posey stepped in, and he's giving more leeway to the baseball dudes, and the baseball dudes are doing a great job. Bob Melvin, Matt Williams, guys like that. But that analytical thing we had gone through for 5 or 6 years, and I mean, they're trying to quantify. They're trying to put into numbers stuff that you and I did as a gut instinct. Like, let's say, you're on the mound, wham, you throw a fastball right by a guy. Well, the numbers say, well, next pitch has to be a breaking ball. No, I just throw it right by him. I'm going to throw him another one, And so those numbers or how we did it gut instinct, how you did it gut instinct, those go out the window. No, you got to do it this way. And I go, that's bullshit. That's not how the game's been played for 150 years. You don't do it strictly by numbers. You have to do it a little intuition, a little feel, a little guts, and go by that.
Is anybody listening to you, or they just like roll their eyes?
Yeah, they all roll their eyes until I'd make common sense. I'm like, all right, let's say you're going to tell me I'm going to face Bob here, and Bob throws 70% fastballs away. And you're telling me how to look fastballs away, right? Okay, fine. What happens if the game starts and Bob doesn't have his command and he can't throw a fastball for a strike? Now what do? Do I stay with the 70% fastballs away, or do I start looking for a different pitch?
Yeah.
And I would pose these questions to them, and they're like, I get on. And that's why I'm who I am. That's why John Rocker is who he is, and you're not.
Yeah, and some are pitches being called by front office, by bench, or are we still letting battery call pitches? Because I know that
we still had let the battery call, but then they would go into these metrics about this guy can't hit the upper rail, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This guy's a dead high fastball hitter. Why are we going into his strength? Stuff like that. So believe me, I had quite a few conversations with the analytical people, and needless to say, Buster took over, and we still use the metrics, don't get me wrong, and it is some of it's really good to see. Hey, look, 2/3 of the time he goes away, 1/3 he goes in, stuff like that. You need to have a little pattern on people. For you, towing the slab, it's like, hey, he's got a big hole in, try to get it in there, stuff like that. But to use it like on every decision, that's not the way it is anymore in the Giants organization, and we're actually playing pretty well because of that reason.
Yeah, you guys have a good year this year. I don't watch ball that much anymore, but keep up with standings. And you guys are faring pretty well in that just bitch of a NL West. Holy shit, that's a fucking
man. And that's that's what I've told everybody. I mean, and you just mentioned it. I mean, you got the Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks, and ourselves. I mean, you got 4 teams in the West that can win it all. Yep. And at the end of the year, it's going to be which one of those, or 2 of those, or 3 of those 4 teams are playing really well in order to make it to the postseason.
I'm a little surprised the Dodgers not being as hot as any hotter than they are. I thought they'd just steamroll through everybody. But and
then a lot of people said that, and then they ran into a few injuries, and a few guys were slumping in the lineup, and in the meantime, the Giants, believe it or not, they start out like a house of fire on the road. They won, I don't know, 12 out of 14 on the road against above 500 teams, and so that's what kind of vaulted them to the top of the division. And then now here lately, Diamondbacks are playing well. Padres have been playing well from the get-go. So, it's going to be a 4-team race all the way to the end. It's whoever gets hot at the end.
It looks like Atlanta's not going to do much this year. Mets are fucking solid. They'll find some way to blow it. They always do. They'll decimate their pitching staff by August and be pitching with a bunch of AAA guys. But, so let's move on. I like hearing from a guy like you. I mean, probably one of the biggest compliments a hitter can be paid, especially by a non-hitter in the big leagues, Johnny, is to call him a professional hitter. Will Clark was a fucking professional fucking hitter. Guys like Chipper, guys like Helton, you say, oh, that guy's a professional fucking hitter. I like hearing from guys like you, play as long as you did, through as many, kind of generational type stuff. I mean, the mid-'80s game was different than the late 90s game, and you adapted your game, all through a 16, 17-year career, as well as you're in the frame of a Jeff Fry, kind of a get-off-my-lawn guy. What's your opinion of hitters 25 years ago versus hitters today?
Hitters 25 years ago.
Back when I played, here's how we did it.
I mean, and it's easy to see. I mean, they really grinded. You had guys that would just, they'd stick their nose in it and try to take you to 3-2 or full count. Every time you got in the batter's box. And so you knew when you were on the mound, hey, look, I got my work cut out for me. Same thing when you face a Maddux or a Glavine or a Smoltz or anybody like that. You get in the batter's box, I got my hands full. I need to buckle down from the get-go. And this is probably what pisses me off the most about being a hitter is guys just give up. They'll get 2 strikes and they're like, I'm still swinging out of my ass. If I strike out, no big deal. Well, guess what? If you strike out, you didn't put the ball in play. You didn't let the other team have to earn an out. You just walking your ass back to the dugout. Yeah. Plus, on top of that, you didn't help your teammates out. You didn't set anybody up. You didn't get on base in front of them so they could hit a 2-run or a 3-run homer. No, they got to go hit a solo shot because your ass is walking back to the dugout because you wouldn't grind. And so that is kind of the difference that I've seen in between today's game and yesterday's game.
Yes, I watch, not a lot. I'm maybe 5-6 innings a week. And I see the batting averages, man. You may have one cat per lineup that is hitting over 300. And, back when we played, let's go and date ourselves and then feel
no. Well, here's the thing. All right. When we looked at video, all right, it was never about us. It was always about how's John Rocker trying to get me out? And what pitch do I have to look for? What side of the plate I got to look for? Stuff like that. Now, guys come up there, and the first thing that they say, well, my hands weren't like this, and my feet weren't like this, and my head wasn't like this, and so that's why I missed the ball. No, you missed the ball because they go to the same spot over and over and over, and you don't make a goddamn adjustment. That's why.
Yeah, just seeing some, maybe scrolling Instagram or something like that, and seeing, top 10 hitters back in 1998. I mean, it's Manny hitting 351 with 46 bombs, 150 driven in. It's Galarraga. It's like, where are those guys today?
Those guys are not there.
Season, 310.
Yep.
With
and, I mean, you sit there, you look at guys like, and guys that got off to good starts like Judge and Ohtani and people like that. They're hitting 350, 380, like you said, 400. That was how a lot of guys got off.
Yeah, Gwynn every year.
The first month or 2 months of the season. And then they would ride that wave, all the way through the end of the season. But, to come out hitting 220, with 1,000 strikeouts and have to climb that mountain the rest of the year, dude, that's a tough way to play baseball.
Yeah, I remember, back in the day, our Braves teams, Yankees teams, we would hit 280, 290 as a fucking team.
Yep.
Whole team.
Yep. And I tell people that the other day, I mean, you even talk about TP and, and some of the Cardinals teams, Willie McGee, Vince Coleman, Jack Clark, Tommy Herr. I mean, you had at least 2 or 3 guys on each team that were hitting 300. At least. And then now you look at the end of the year, there were 4 guys in the National League that hit above 300 at the end of the year. It's like,
that was last year?
What the hell happened to the hitters, man?
So say that again, Will. Say that again.
There were 4 guys in the NL at the end of the year last year that hit above 300.
Oh, shit. That's well, you know what it is.
Yeah.
So follow up with that. How much do you think pitching has to do with it? How much?
Pitching has a lot to do with it, but it's just the stubbornness of some of these hitters to make the adjustment. So, the big thing now is, as far as a pitcher goes, they give you more height. All right.
Yeah,
so you can throw a high fastball now. And then they don't give you off on the corners like they did with Maddux and Glavine and Smoltz. They don't give you that no more. They'll give you here and there, but that's about it. And so, if you're going to hit a high fastball, first thing you got to do is you got to get your hands a little higher. All right. If you keep your hands down or you drop your hands or anything, you're up under the ball, you're screwed. So that was the thing that the great Tony Gwynn told me. He's like, you always load backing up. If the ball's up, he said, just keep going up and get on top of it. And, thank God for Tony because he was my best friend. We could never get him out. So he was always at first base, but I learned a ton of hitting from that man. Oh my God.
Tony, I actually punched Tony out. When Game 5, CS San Diego, probably the highlight of my career. My first AB in the big leagues. I walked on 4 pitches. Graffinino hits a double in the gap, came around, scored from first, and got to truck the fucking catcher. They let me hit because Gwynn was leading off, came out and punched out Tony Gwynn, 3-2 slider swing. I'm like, you know what? I'm retired. I'm done. I just had to truck the catcher.
Hey,
game winning.
There's my feather in the cap for my resume right there. I punched out Tony Gwynn.
And Maddux came in and got the save.
Hey, look, I got to tell you this right now. And because we're doing our podcast tonight, so I even got this sitting on my desk. And that's De La
I like that.
De La Cruz from Cincinnati and Tony over here. De La Cruz is almost past Tony Gwynn in career strikeouts, and Tony did it in 20 years, and De La Cruz has just barely 2 years in.
But the game I'm telling you about, I punched out Gwynn. Here's another stat you're be like, no fucking way. Nagel got him like in the either first or fourth inning. Gwynn punched out twice that game. Nagel got him once. I got him once. In a career, how many times did Tony Gwynn punch out twice in a game?
I would
less than one hand.
Venture to say very few.
Yeah, I guarantee you less than one hand.
Yeah, he's only got 434 strikeouts in 20 years. He averaged for a full year coming to the plate over 800 plate appearances. He averaged striking out 26, 27 times.
Yeah, 20 times a year. That's just he was so fun to watch.
Yeah,
God, he was so good, man. So as far as some I like, some I don't. And again, get off my lawn guys like me and you are. So some of the rule changes. What are your thoughts on some of the shit? The bigger bases, the fucking throw over times, the clock and all the shit. What are your thoughts like an old school?
I've beat on these guys as much as I can beat on them.
They beat on the wrong guy. Go beat on Mavericks, dumbass.
You and I talked about it, before we came on here. Just baby firing the sport. I mean, you go down to second base and you got to slide in. There's no contact. That used to be a source of pride, was go into second base, take out the second baseman or shortstop, keep the double play out,
and then get up
and then the next guy hit you a homer or double or whatever. It was like more of a team game. Now it's just like guys run down to second and they get the hell out the way, and the other guy can freaking do a four-seam. That's first off, Buster Posey. Because he got buried at home plate, they got the Buster Posey rule. About the catchers, whereas back in the day, I remember Mike Scioscia, man. He used to give you the whole plate, and as soon as you went into your slide, he'd slide on over and take that plate from you and just bury you. And I remember one time Jack Clark had enough of that, and Jack Clark came in and he freaking hit Scioscia with a forearm upside the head and knocked him dead cold. And that doesn't happen anymore. I mean,
yeah.
If you go YouTube. Al taking out Fernando Vina in the middle of the baseline. Albert just freaking crunched it, If you want another one, you can look at Hal Gray barrel slide into second base, taking out Willie Randolph. So, it was much different right then and now.
And then you go in high spikes with old Ozzy, and then get up and beat his ass at shortstop.
Yeah. We had a little boo-ha-ha there in St. Louis, so it was fun.
That was a good one. But, the pitch clock, I don't really mind. Me and Jeff Fry were talking about this shit. I think when they first implemented it, and I'm like, Jeff, you don't like the change, whatever. And I wish they would do away with it, like in playoff series. I mean, sometimes playoff series, I need to think about this shit, man. I don't be looking like eyeball on a clock, or hurry the fuck up and delivers 3-2 pitch to Aaron Judge. I need to think about this shit for a minute. Let's fucking call timeout. And I'm like, Jeff, you bitch about it, but you're also the same guy, Fry, that would be in the dugout yelling at the pitcher, hurry the fuck up! be chewing his ass, so you can't even play plays, dude. I'd be the same guy in the bullpen screaming at the pitcher, fucking today, dickhead, screaming some shit at him. So, but
I got one on Fry. So Fry was a teammate in Texas, and we had a rule, and it was pick up your stuff around the batting cage. That way I don't have to pick up your bats. I don't have to step on them. I don't have to step on a helmet, whatever it might be, twist an ankle, whatever. And so Fry would leave his stuff out every time. So I'd take the bat. And so instead of holding it like this, I'd turn it around. I'd hold it like this. I'd go, and I'd rake it on the batting cage, right? And so I literally did that for a week straight. So I broke 7 of his bats. And so finally he's like, he comes up to me. He's like, what up, dude? What up? I go, I told you to pick up your shit. You're not picking it up. I'm not going to break my ankle and miss any time because you're an idiot. Pick up your stuff. And so he started doing it, right? Well, the next year he gets over to Boston and we come in to play the Red Sox. And sure enough, I come up to the batting cage and what's there? Jeff Fry bat. I turn it around. I broke that son of a gun again. And he goes up to me the next day. He goes, you broke my bat, didn't you? And I go, yeah. I said, you still haven't learned your lesson. He goes, I'll learn it from now on. I'll learn it. I'm like, okay.
You're probably more get off my lawn than he is. That's good shit. But, so I guess we'll, we talked earlier. Something I've been waiting to ask you for 20 years. We've never actually met in person. This is first, by far, the longest I've ever spoke to you.
Yeah.
And the best of my knowledge, I think I only faced you one time. In that playoff series we were talking about a few minutes ago. And I'm pretty sure you made me feel bad about myself. I'm pretty sure you were standing 60 feet, 6 inches from me, which is as close as I've ever been to you, this way. And I think about 3 pitches later, you were standing 60 feet, 6 inches behind me. I think you hit a fucking rocket in the gap and ended up over there, after seeing a couple of fastballs. But I heard a story probably a good 20 years ago. And I'm like, if I ever get a chance to talk to this guy, definitely asking what the fuck happened, that Jeff Pearlman, that fucking pile of fucking motherfucking shit, that wrote that SI article about me, Evidently, you ran into him at a clubhouse, maybe in St. Louis, a couple years later, and I guess you guys had a conversation. How'd that go?
All right. So, Perlman, I knew all of the beat writers. I knew all of the, the columnists, all that sort of stuff. And, I'm in Baltimore in spring training. It was either the year after he did the article on you or the following year, whatever it was. I don't know. And, he comes up to me out of the clear blue and says, "Hey, I need to ask you a question." I go, "Who are you?" And he said, "Jeff Perlman." I go, "You the guy that did the article on Rocker?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay." I said, "And what do you want from me?" And he goes, "I need to ask you some questions about Barry Bonds." And I go, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yeah." He says, "I'd like to spend some time with." I said, "You ain't got a fucking prayer in hell." And he looked at me. I go, "Listen, motherfucker." I said, "I know what you did, Rocker." I said, "You went with him for a few days." I said, "You tried to earn his trust and all that." And he might have said one thing and you fucking took it and ran with it, you piece of shit. And so you think I'm going to answer questions about Barry Bonds? You think that there's going to be any positive spin that you're going to put on Barry Bonds? And he looked at me. So I turned around to the clubhouse. I go, "Hey, all you bastards." And they go, "What?" I go, "This is Jeff Perlman that wrote the fucking article on Rocker." I said, "Y'all watch out for this motherfucker. He's a snake in the grass."
Appreciate it,
There's
buddy.
the story.
Big league guy. Got another big league guy back.
Hey, look, baseball is a fraternity.
Yes,
the boys take care of the boys. And you're not in that clubhouse with us. You're not one of the boys. He was not one of the boys. Fuck him.
Yep. You and I have never met in person. That's the first time I ever talked to you. And because I'm alumni, you're alumni, we sit here and talk for an hour like it's fucking nothing.
Yep. We could talk about, the state of the game now. We can talk about the state of the game when we played. You can talk about the state of the game, like when Willie Mays and those guys played. And it is the ultimate passed down from generation to generation sport. Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, passed it down to myself. I passed it down to the next generation, Buster Posey and those guys. Now we just keep passing it down to the next generation to keep this beautiful sport alive.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I can't tell you how many golf tournaments I go to. I don't really like playing these charity golf tournaments. I go just to see the boys. That's about the only time of the year I get to see certain people. And it's amazing to walk into a little golf pro shop or whatever, the little event there, and I'll hear somebody yell at me like it was Johnny Damon maybe like a year ago. I never met Johnny, faced Johnny a bunch. I just hear, "Hey, Rock!" I look over. It's Damon. Runs up, gives me a hug, hands me a beer. I'm sit down, have a fucking beer with us. Never met the dude. And then we sit there and got shit faced.
And that's the thing, and I talk about this all the time. A lot of people ask me, "How'd you do against this guy? How'd you do against John Rocker? How'd you do?" I said, No. That's not what the sport is. That's not what a professional is. A professional is, I got a job to do. I go out there. I try to do the job. A lot of times he's going to get me. Sometimes I'm going to get him. What a pro does is a pro honors another pro. And that's how it works. And that's why you said, guys like Chipper and TP and, whoever you want to call, those were the guys that were in my generation that I tip the cap to. It's that's a pro, man. Absolutely. Those are the kind of guys that I want to be on the field. I want to compete against them. And then if I happen to play with them, I'm going to give them a big hug and say, "Let's go, boys. Here we go."
Exactly. Who was the one guy, one pitcher that you're like, "Not this fucking guy"? Who was the guy you just couldn't stand it?
You know what? I mean, I get that question a lot, believe it or not. Yeah, but our thing back in the day was, hey, look, you're playing every day. So you're going to catch everybody's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. You're going to catch everybody. All right. So yeah, there's going to be guys that you're going to be uncomfortable against. But then there's other guys that you're going to dig in on. So, for me personally, it was always not one guy. It was a type of guy, a guy with a good changeup. If you're fastball, breaking ball, fastball split, something like that, you can see the difference, in the pitches as they're coming towards you. Fastball, changeup look the same. So, Maddux and Glavine and those guys, like I said, yep. When you towed the batter's box, you were like, "Oh, I got my work cut out for me here."
Yeah. Yeah. Greg's changeup was just absolutely fucking filthy.
Yeah. But if you wanted to call out one guy, and this goes back a little ways, I faced him 1 or 2 times and I was like, "Oh, no. Was, J.R. Richard used to be with the Houston Astros.
Big old dog.
6'5", 6'6", bottleneck glasses. and would throw at you in a heartbeat. And he was nasty. 98 with a 90-mile-an-hour slider and just nasty.
Dude, this is what we debate, a lot too, just in conversations that I have around. You see the guns today. I mean, are they a legit Buck 01 with fucking sync? Is that legit? I'm calling bullshit.
You know what? You know it because, I mean, you reached back there and touched it up there pretty good. But I'll stand in like in some of the bullpen sessions and guys are like, oh, that was 94, 95. And I go, I turn around to the catcher and go, that's like 89, 90. I said, that ain't no 94.
I see the way the hitters react.
And so those are the kind of things that, you and I know that is going on. They juice up these radar guns a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to be. I see the way the hitters react. And I can remember facing Brett Boone. And this was when Brett was a cunt hair away from, I probably shouldn't use the C word on a little even mushier than me. Triple Crown. The year he was from the Triple Crown. It was like 01, so I was in Cleveland. And that's one of the hardest I've ever fucking thrown. I was juiced up. It was that game. We were down 12-2 in a 7th. It was the biggest comeback in baseball history. We came back and won, I think, 14-12. We were down 12 runs in the 7th inning. And I came in and I think I got the win of that game. And I'm facing Booney. Everything I threw was between 99 and 102. And Booney was hitting like 338 and whatever. I mean, he was using his bat as a fucking effort in self-defense. He was not trying to hit. He was up there just trying to get this fucking fastball off me. And I see guys today, 101, and they are fucking yak and right on it too. I mean, they're up there just going unglued.
I say the same thing. I'm like, if you get a guy that's throwing 97, 98, whatever, and you got a hitter that goes up there and he hooks like 4 foul on the pull side, I'm like, wait a second. First off, that ain't no 98, 99. That's first off. And then second off, the only way you could hit 4 of them foul in a row, you better be cheating your ass off. And so you're going to be out with another pitch.
You're born with
so one of them things. Hey, when's your co-host going to ask a question?
I told him to go ahead. So chime in there, Sparky.
So one of my favorite 30 for 30s is the Thunder and Lightning. And I just got a question. Did they portray you guys pretty good with that national championship run and all that coming out of high school and everything? Was that pretty accurate? Were you happy with it?
As far as like the whole production and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they did it under the guise of, they wanted to do the 80, 85, Bulldog team and, how good we were and all that. And then when they sat down, the third question was about me and Rafi and how we got along and, what kind of teammates we were. So I knew there was a whole hidden meaning behind it, but, the whole premise was the 85 Bulldog team. And, in that era, and I told somebody this the other day, we played the first ever Sunday night game on ESPN. And that's kind of when baseball, as far as college baseball, when it exploded, was right after that Sunday night game. There was a lot more games in college baseball that got televised.
Wow. And then that coach, he was an icon there at Mississippi State, right? I just started doing some looking up on him after I watched.
Talking about Ron Pope, my coach?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a college Hall of Famer. So, I mean, like most wins in the SEC, he was kind of the father of SEC baseball. And so, yeah, I mean, he was a stud. And he was one of those kind of guys that every fall we would play inter-squad games every day. And then we would have to sit down and go over game mistakes. It's like, hey, you didn't go down the right field line and get in cutoff position. You didn't do this. Why were we shifted over here? How did you throw him a breaking ball when he missed a fastball a pitch before? And so that's how I kind of learned the game when I got into pro ball. As John well knows, you play with some guys that aren't educated like that. And they're like, look at you like, I should have been over there. Yeah, you should have been over there. And so, when I got into pro ball, it was almost like I became the quarterback on the field, guiding people around as the play was going down.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Man, a lot of baseball knowledge right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got anything else?
I got tons. I mean, you want me to? I ask all kinds. I got all kinds.
All right. Well, Will easily he's tired of talking to me, so he wants to.
So how was playing in that whole situation and dealing with the Earthquake World Series? What was that?
Oh man, that was brutal. So, we played the first 2 games of '89 series in Oakland. We battled them tooth and nail. We wound up losing both games, pretty close games. And then we were coming back to San Francisco, and we had been playing real well there at our ballpark, and we were fixing to have 60,000 in the ballpark. And, you could just feel like the momentum was going to shift a little bit. And it was 7 minutes before introductions. I had just got through running a sprint out to center field, and I'm walking back towards the right field line, and it sounded like those F-15s flying over. And I looked up, and right when I looked up, you could see the light towers going, whoom, whoom. And I go, oh, this is not good. And, the big wave came through the stadium and all that. And, so when it finally calmed down, I made my way over to the dugout. And as John knows, being in the playoffs and stuff, you got police all over the place, and their radios are just blowing up. And one of the policemen said, you ain't playing this game. The marina's on fire. The Bay Bridge collapsed. Another bridge has a big problem. We had the Nimitz Freeway that collapsed that nobody knew about. So, it went from being like the centerpiece of what was going to be my baseball career to all of a sudden stepping back and going, hey, I'm just a regular dude here. This is life and death. And as John well knows, the same, but, once you get to play over the course of the year, you get a day off here and a day off there. We had 10 days off. So in the middle of the World Series. And so when you come back after 10 days off, it's like you're rusty. It's like spring training all over again. And, for me personally, the World Series kind of lost its luster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember being in the 8th grade, the 8th grade, I think, when I was watching that game. To date you, Will.
Yep. Thank you.
So is it true that your first big league home run was on Nolan Ryan?
First big league at bat was off of Nolan Ryan.
Okay.
And third pitch fastball deposited it out of center field, and made my way around the bases, pointed to my family up in the stands, high-fived everybody in the dugout. And anytime that I ever had a really good, at bat or game or whatever it was, I'd have a sense of calm come over me. And so I remember sitting on the bench, and it just this calm comes over me, and I'm looking out there, and Chili Davis was one of my veterans. He was sitting next to me. I look at Chili and I go, he's going to drill me next time up. He goes, oh, hell yeah. And so I come up my second at bat off of Nolan. He's in his windup. I'm like, what are those numbers? And he buzzed the tower.
So no, just buzz you out. I'll tell you, I never obviously played against him. Well, Nolan's last year was 97-ish, 6-ish?
What, Nolan?
Yeah, when he was 97.
Nolan blew out his arm in 93.
Oh,
so he pitched all the way to 93.
But man, he when I was with the Rangers, man, he would come strolling through the clubhouse every once in a while.
Yeah.
First of all, I thought he'd be taller. He's 6'2", whatever. But that is one intimidating motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
just
oh yeah.
Pass you in the hallway, just like.
Yeah. No, he was all business when he took the mound, and for me personally, that's how my Major League Baseball career started. It's like, how do you script anything like that? I
always want to get a ball stop. You're nervous.
I'm like, it was probably my first one in the major leagues,
Yeah.
So, and then back then, believe it or not, we had kangaroo court, and the guy who caught the ball in center field had just gotten in a car wreck, and he had a neck brace on. He had something on his arm and all that, and he freaking snagged the ball on the fly. So I got charged $20 in kangaroo court for having a cripple catch my best ever home run bolt off of Nolan Ryan. So I actually had to pay $20 to hit my first homer.
Your ball back. They still do kangaroo court?
No, not around that I know of. They might, but if they do, it's pretty quiet and under wraps. We have kangaroo court literally every month, and we always had somebody. It's usually a reliever. We always had somebody that was like the court docket. He'd write everything down. He'd have a little book, and that's how we had to pay our fines, and then our fines wound up going to a team party.
Yeah, one thing I most enjoyed, I was single my entire career. I just enjoyed just the degenerate baseball lifestyle. I loved being a big leaguer and all just the dirty ass shit we used to do. And I hear stories now that like guys bring their like Xboxes on the road and they sit there and play video game tournaments and shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, that's what you guys do. Like in your free time, you're out of the yard. You play video games.
And then that was the thing.
Is that so? Is that true, Will?
87, 88, right in there is when video came into play, and it was first VHS, and then when it got in the 90s, it shifted over to CDs and DVDs. But, I'd come in, watch the pitcher, get an idea what side of the plate I wanted to look for, what pitches, stuff like that. And now, and what John just alluded to, you have a hitters meeting, right? And they go over all of the pitchers. I mean, every one of them. All right, this is what Bob's got. This is what Frank's got. This is what Charlie's got. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, you're in the game to make a pitching change. And the first thing the guy does, he walks over to the hitting coach and he goes, "What's this guy got?" And I go, "You didn't pay attention a fucking hour ago? Oh, and by the way, hang on one second. Before you ask him what the hell this guy's got, turn the fuck around. He's getting ready to throw 8 warm-up pitches. He'll show you exactly what he has."
You most
so that's where the game's changed a lot, too.
I've always seen him on TV. Yeah. But no, it just seems like the guys today are just not having fun like we used to. It seems like just a real stuffy environment. Now, I will say, if I had to play today with cameras and video everywhere and Instagram and all that nonsense, I'd probably be scared shitless too.
Yeah. I mean, and you've seen, because you're in the clubhouse, but I mean, guys come off the field, first thing they do, yeah. Dude, you don't come in and have a beer and relax and, think about the game and talk shop and all that. No, you immediately on the socials. Hey,
guys say that players are out of the clubhouse 30 minutes after the game's over now. I mean, game's over, 25 minutes, fucking ghost town in there.
Yep.
I mean, I can't tell you how many days, usually days after I'd pitch, I wouldn't leave the yard till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I get my workout in, my ice, sit around and drink a beer with Terry Mulholland or, whatever. Yeah. And all right, time to go.
So you bring up a great name right there, Terry Mulholland. Terry was one of my teammates in San Francisco, and then when we made the playoffs one year, we traded for Steve Bedrosian in Philadelphia, and we sent Mulholland and Dennis Cook to Philadelphia. And I don't know, it might have been the first or second time I'm facing Mulholland, and he's got this good hard riding fastball and a slider, right? And he throws me a fastball. I'm kind of sitting in there. He throws me a fastball sinking in on me. Whack! I hit it off my foot. Like, oh. So next time I get in there again, next pitch, he throws me the same pitch. Whack! I hit it off the same spot. Down I go. I'm flopping around on the ground and shit. Right? I get up and I look at Mulholland and he's laughing. I go, "Will you throw me a slider so I can strike out? I don't want to have to hit another one off my foot." And so that's Terry and I till this day we laugh about that.
Yeah. Molly. I hadn't seen Terry in forever, man. You still keep up with him? Still talk?
You know what? I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen Terry in at least 10 years. Last time I saw him was in spring training.
It's a shame how we just lose contact with some of your teammates. That's one thing. I firmly hate social media. I think it's fucking ridiculous. But do enjoy Facebook. That's the only time I get to, reconnect how everybody's kids are doing, where they're living, stuff like that. So, that and some of these golf tournaments, I've gotten now where my knees and back are so stinking bad I can't even swing a club anymore. But I'll sit there and just go and ride around for 3 or 4 hours just to shoot the shit with guys.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I mean, and getting caught up here with you. I mean, needless to say, you came in at the end of my generation. But at the same time, I was able to follow your career and stuff like that. So we talked about it before. Baseball is such a big fraternity that, I pull for the guys now. I mean, I really do, because they got so much against them. And you were just talking about, the phones and the social media and all that kind of craziness. But at the same time, it's going out there and doing the sport that you and I did that we absolutely love to do and will do to the time they put us in the grave,
Yeah. Certainly love it. You got anything else for the thrill here?
Well, did you get to do some turkey hunting this spring?
You know what? I did do some turkey hunting this spring. I wasn't able to get on a longbeard, but I did call up about 3 or 4 for other people. So personally I didn't get one, but some of the other smiles and stuff like that was fun. The one thing that I don't know, John, if you guys got the problem or not, but man, good Lord, we got the hogs coming out of our ears. Yeah. And I don't know why, but last year, if I got in a deer stand, I got run over by the hogs. I mean, I legitimately, probably by myself, killed 40.
You're a week,
I had
right?
the last 3 hunts that I made on my place. My place is in Mississippi. The last 3 hunts, I killed 6, 4, and 4. I killed 14 hogs in 3 hunts. Wow. It is amazing.
I've got a good friend. I live down in the Panhandle of Florida now. Moved down there about 5-6 years ago, and a dear friend of mine is a retired Southern Special Forces. You know what his fucking job is now? He works for the FDA on Eglin Air Force Base and kills pigs. That's his job.
Wow.
They pay him $5,000
That's a great job.
a month, buy all his shit. He has got so much cool infrared heat sinking bullshit. I'm like, yep, like he's got 10 grand worth of shit. Like, this is some of the coolest I've ever fucking seen. Like, where can I get it?
Yeah.
You can't buy shit like
Yeah.
that.
That's another thing
6 days a
too.
week.
That's another thing too. San Francisco is a big SEAL base, and so they let some of the SEALs come out, and they'll take backpacks and stuff like that. And people asking them, about serving and all that, and I put my arm around them, I'm like, "Hey, what kind of cool shit you guys got?" And he talks about, and there's like 3 or 4 of them now talking to me about all the thermal stuff that we have, that we use for hogs and stuff like that. They're like, we got the 80th generation thermal. They like, y'all ain't got nothing compared to what we got in the military.
So this guy's got a thermal camera, sits on the roof of his truck, and there's got a big, like, maybe 10-inch screen right there on his dash. And so just like a TV with all the hog thermal shit.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool, man.
I got 2 pulsars, man. I mean, one year we shot 140, and the next year they were all back again. I mean, these things,
Can't get rid of them.
it's insane.
For, I don't know, I got my place for 30 something years now. So for 25 years, we never had hogs, but we sit on a river. So I knew that they were going to come up and down the river, and we got them, and we sure enough got them now, just like y'all. And, it's a never ending process. I actually, I got some friends of mine, I got to go do some baseball stuff here in the next few weeks. They're going to ease on up there and see if they can't kill a few for me. So that's kind of stuff that's going on.
Well, good, brother. Well,
So if we get in your truck right now, and me and John riding the truck, who you're listening to on the radio, or who's your go-to listen to right now?
I'm a classic rocker. We got AC/DC on there.
Yeah.
Hell's Bells, Shoot the Thrill, Thunderstruck, whatever you want. That's first off. Second off, and right now it's different because, it's baseball season and all that, but during hunting season, you get in my truck, there's at least 1 rifle, 1 shotgun, pistols, coolers, fishing poles, and a dog. So, whenever I hit the highway during hunting season, I'm going somewhere to shoot something or catch something.
yeah, I'm right there with you.
So what's your go-to snack in the hunting blind?
My go-to what?
Your go-to snack, your go-to meal in the hunting blind.
Oh, I am definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, I do not ease into the hunting blind without Coors Light. I make sure the mountains are blue, baby. I don't need a snack.
Snack will drop that buzz.
Yeah,
Can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Plus, on top of that, big thing the guys are doing down here, and it's coming out really good. They're taking the deer and the hog and they're mixing it together and they're making snack sticks. So a lot of times when we're in the stand, we got a bunch of snack sticks and the Coors Lights.
That sounds kind of like boudin right there.
There you go.
Yeah, little boudin
There you
ball.
go.
Now, you live in Louisiana, right?
Yeah. I was born and raised in New Orleans, now I live in Baton Rouge.
Right there in coon-ass Louisiana.
Well, we heard you were quite the cook.
Sportsman's paradise, baby.
Yeah.
Woo!
So we heard you were quite the cook. So if we come visit you, what you going to cook up for us?
I'll make something for you. Put it this way. It will be wild game. I ain't grilling no steaks for you. You coming down here, you're going to get some good Cajun food.
You good Cajun cook? Do that?
Yeah.
I go
get
there,
after it pretty good.
Especially, I was in New Orleans.
Yesterday we went offshore and caught some speckled trout, and I had some nice fried speckled trout last night for the family. Family absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, anytime I go to New Orleans, especially when I was in New Orleans last time with that fake fight, to go pick a fight with Pat Mahomes Sr. Any restaurant, I'm just like, give me the fucking left side of the menu, dude. I can't order a Cajun restaurant without wanting like 9 different things. Cajun food, by far my favorite food.
Oh man, it's so good, and like you said, when you get there, you're like, all right, I want to try one of those, And
I got turned to boudin balls about 10 years ago. Holy shit, that's some good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I was at the LSU Bama game.
Yeah.
What a fucking scene that was, by the way. Tell the LSU Bama
dude, that
game.
is like college football mecca.
It was
when
awesome.
Bama and LSU play one another.
Game went over.
I know down here at LSU, they closed the whole campus.
Yeah.
To the point where you have 120,000 in the stadium, but then you got 300,000 sitting out, cooking and grilling and doing a tailgate, and it just shuts down the whole town.
Yeah, we were tailgating. I got introduced to old coon-ass boudin balls on an LSU tailgate, and I was like, that's my new thing right there. Yeah, some solid shit.
Well, before we get out of here, do you want to give a plug to any charity or to the podcast you're doing, anything like that?
My son, and reasons why I retired when I did, he's a little autistic, and he's gotten better, but I still am a big proponent of autism, and so in San Francisco, I am the spokesperson for the team for autism, and we do a lot of stuff with autismspeaks.org. And then also another organization called ANOVA. So that's the first that, as far as, that goes, it's autism. And then, every Tuesday night, matter of fact, I'm going to do it tonight. John and I were talking about, I do a podcast with, Eric Burns, who's a crazy man. And we cut up, talk a lot of stuff. We talk smack about baseball. We'll be talking smack tonight. And so it's called Deuces Wild. If you ever want to turn into the podcast.
Yeah, I'll give you an extra guest. Give me.
You got it. We'll bring your ass on. We have a fun time.
Eric, he's a wild man. I like that guy.
Yeah,
good shit.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
Well, thanks for being on, brother. It was very good. Like I said, I was kind of fanboy here. I've always been a fan of yours, and except for the one time you treated me so rude in the playoffs and didn't let me get you out.
Hey, every now and then, blind squirrel finds an acorn.
Yeah,
every now and then.
Always been a big.
But the big thing about me and you was, I respect the guys that played the right way. And, you were one of the guys that came after me that did it right. And so, that's why legitimately, I went to battle for you in the clubhouse.
Yep.
With Perlman.
Greatly appreciate it.
And then on top of that is the fact that, you carried on the legacy for the Atlanta Braves. They were good for so long, and you carried that legacy on. Yeah. So nice job.
So, appreciate it, brother. And thanks for coming on, and let's stay in touch.
You got it. Sounds good.